Welcome back to another episode of Over Tea. Today I'm here alone. I have no guest, but I did want to touch on this general mindset shift that I have seen taking place in our generation. At one point it was being called main character syndrome, which is essentially when a person thinks of themselves as the lead character in like the movie of their life and everybody else as side characters. It's not an actual mental condition, but it can be characterized by different behaviors, like seeing yourself as the center of attention in your relationships or having this sense of entitlement. I think it's normal for us to be self-interested though. That's why Sonder exists, that profound emotion that somebody felt the need to conceptualize, which is basically the realization that we all have that every single person on this earth is living a life as complex as your own. I don't know if this realization is greater or more normalized in our generation. I mean, it could go either way. Either social media is making us more connected and more used to the idea that each person is living a really complex life, or it makes us fall even deeper into the trap of main character syndrome. However, the mindset shift that I want to talk about today has more to do with people genuinely thinking that they are more special than other people. This way of thinking definitely stems from hyperconfidence. And I think that hyperconfidence for a lot of people is a coping mechanism for insecurity. And I don't think that it's a bad thing to be confident. Let me actually preface everything I'm about to say by saying this. I think that confidence is essential. In any goal that you have, any plan that you have, the first step is to believe in yourself. Because once you exude confidence, that's how you get other people to believe in you. And that's how you get the backing and the validation that you need to push forward. However, I think it can become an issue when people genuinely think that they were placed on this earth on a pedestal above other people. You are not special. You're not special because everyone is special, and you're not different because everyone is different. I think a lot of people today have God complexes, and as per usual, I blame social media. Social media lets people choose the lifestyle or the reality that they want to project to the world. And giving people this control leads to the belief that they are the most special person on the planet. Because in this digital reality that they've created, they are the most important person. But the reality is that there are millions and millions of people doing this same thing. And there are just as many people who think that they're more important than others because people like their content. And it doesn't help that so many people become famous on social media by doing absolutely nothing other than being themselves. Social media has without a doubt redefined fame. I mean, you don't necessarily need a talent or a skill to be famous on social media, and people gain huge platforms overnight. So what is the result of that for consumers? It leads them to overestimate their abilities, and it makes them believe in these unrealistic lifestyles that are being pushed daily. And it perpetuates the idea that you alone are special enough to be famous or successful without really doing anything meaningful. Social media is also the origin of a lot of these self-improvement trends that I think further the I'm special mindset. Main character syndrome, romanticizing your life, lucky girl syndrome, all of these things are perpetuated on social media. And I think that these trends cause us to lose sight of reality, like what is going on in our physical world. I mean, social media is not real. Social media trends are not real. They're a form of escapism. And social media has a huge focus on narcissism, if you really think about it, because what do we use it for? We use it to promote ourselves. We use it to admire ourselves. We use it to feel better about ourselves. And we use it to portray ourselves in the best way that we can, even if it's not always 100% accurate. We've all sat down and asked ourselves, what makes me special? What makes me stand out from the crowd? What makes me a better candidate for this job? And I do think that in some cases, it's essential to differentiate because people are attracted to new experiences. But I think that the mistake that a lot of us make is taking that mindset and applying it to real life. In real life, you don't have to be different. we're actually a lot more similar to each other than we think. Your experiences are not special. Your worst fears are not special. And your mind is not special. I saw a really good TikTok the other day of this girl who basically had the realization that she is constantly trying to separate herself from other women by trying to be less basic or trying to be smarter than them. And she basically ended the TikTok by saying, like, no, like, we are all just as basic and as complex as each other. And I don't want to be different from other women. And that really stuck with me, because it's like, we're all walking around thinking that we're so different from each other. Doesn't that inadvertently make us all the same? Some people grow up thinking they're special and others do not. And I think that has a lot to do with the validation that you receive as a child. It's the difference between somebody who grew up with a mom who told them every day that they're beautiful, they're exceptional, they're special, versus somebody who grew up with parents who maybe put them down every single day or criticized them or their appearance. It's the difference between the popular kid at school and the kid with no friends. It's the difference between the straight A student or the valedictorian and the high school dropout. If your environment and your lived experiences affirm you every single day and prove to you that you're special, then of course you're gonna grow up believing that. And I think that that's important. I think every child deserves to believe in themselves and think that they're worth something. But thinking that you're more special than other people can be really tricky, because once you're proven wrong, once you're humbled and reminded that we are all the same, you're gonna have an identity crisis. But I thought I was special. Why is this not working out for me the way I thought it would? Because you're not special. It's because we're all special. Accepting that you're not special can be a hard pill to swallow, because it's human nature. We all want to believe that we are. And I think that a lot of people believe that being special or different is like a prerequisite for achieving your dreams. But I think the opposite. I think it's a lot more comforting to know that you can be a regular person and still achieve your wildest dreams. It's been done before, and it's done every single day. And it's also very powerful to not let anyone or any institution make you feel like you are special, because I think a lot of times we give our power away by letting others determine our value. I think that if more people start to come to the realization that they're not special, collective identity will become more important than self-interest. And it's really important for it to be that way. We need to feel connected to others, because that's how change comes about. Thank you for watching this episode of Over Tea, and I'll see you in the next one.